Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Fleric.
This is Mac.
And I think we need to back up real quick because somebody's name was pronounced very incorrectly.
I believe it was my name pronounced incorrectly.
That
Fleric,
is
can
right.
you help us out? You forgot what you have to do.
I did. I am not useless, and I hate this. For the record, Yokozuna Jake.
There it is.
There it is. All right. And as for Fleric's punishment, along with having to call Jake Yokozuna Jake, because he did lose the prediction series after being spotted a bonus point, which is very impressive for Fleric.
I know. It's I don't see where Tochinoshin and whoever the other guy was went wrong.
But you also picked Enho for Makekoshi.
And
That seemed like a good idea at the time.
yeah,
But we'll get to the results
Okay,
later.
all right.
What we need to get to is the punishment, because Fleric needs to take just shots pretty much of various different hot sauces that we have assembled here. And I don't think there's any time better than now to get the 10-minute timer started. So we'll start with a shot of hot sauce.
There's a lot better time, which is like 20 minutes from now.
All right, which one are you starting off with?
I'm guessing we will go with. Is it up to me?
Yes.
No, this one.
Oh,
Ryan has decided.
All right, bring me the spoon, Fleric.
I will spin you. Just like back in college.
Yep.
I was about to say, like, wait.
It was very cold.
I'm going to preemptively open up my half gallon of milk or
Yes,
quarter.
for mercy rules, Fleric is allowed a glass
All right.
of milk.
This is a decent amount I put into the spoon, but this one's also not too strong, so you should be okay. I also don't know your spicy tolerance.
We'll find out.
Not great.
It's like a little kid taking medicine.
A spoonful of hot sauce
Okay,
makes
Fleric,
the
be
more hot
smarter than the
sauce
damn milk
later
cap.
Okay.
go down.
All right, so
Be quick on opening that milk.
Yeah,
I need it.
It's open now.
so Fleric has a spoonful of what is called peri peri hot sauce. It is a fiery Central African style sauce made with real peri peri peppers. All right, Fleric, down the hatch.
It
tentative
smells like
sniff.
pain.
And the timer begins.
All right, another 10 minutes until Fleric has to do something else.
Oh, there's frustration. There's frustration.
This is awful. Give me milk.
I'll keep it handy for
We
you.
are being kind. We are letting him drink milk because we do need him to participate in the podcast.
In addition to torturing our friend, let's also talk about some sumo wrestling.
Yes, a very torturous basho for everybody to watch and participate in.
Indeed it was.
What do you think, Fleric?
Drink your milk, you fool.
So at the end of the day, we end up with Hakuho winning the Yusho at the Kyushu Basho for 2019, his 43rd career Yusho. We had a couple of June Yusho winners. We had Asanoyama actually getting his first career June Yusho to go along with the Yusho he won earlier in the year. And Shodai, Fleric. Just more torture and punishment for Fleric. Shodai ended up with the June Yusho as well.
At the last second,
awful.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
Him and Asanoyama went up against each other, and if Asanoyama won, he'd have the Jun Yusho to himself, and if Shodai won, they'd share it, and Shodai was able to take out Asanoyama. Both of them had 11-4 record, which was good enough for the Jun Yusho.
So Hakuho won, not just one, but he won by 3.
Yes. This was not a competitive basho in the slightest. Special prizes. Another one goes to Asanoyama. He got the Gino Show, the Technique Prize. It's his first career Gino Show, but not his first career special prize. Somebody who did get their first career special prize ever is Daisho. He got the Shukun Show Outstanding Performance Prize, and that is because he is the only person that was able to put dirt on Hakuho in this tournament. And the Kanto Show Fighting Spirit Prize, that went to Shodai. This is his third career Kanto Show.
Kind of getting left out here. Takanosho and Kageyaki both finished with 10 wins. Usually good enough to sniff a special prize, but when there was more, there's 3 guys who got more than 10 wins, kind of left them behind.
Yeah, and I think if these guys were making their debut in the Makuuchi division, that typically 10 wins in your division debut. Boom, that's good enough for a special prize. These guys have both been here before.
You mean like Wakataka Kage, who has never lost on the dohyo in Makuuchi?
That is correct. I am sorry. You're absolutely correct. The actual Yusho winner, undefeated Wakataka Kage, or the unofficial Grand Sumo Breakdown Kyushu Yusho winner. But I guess in the history books it will be Hakuho, so we'll talk.
Technically.
We'll talk as if he actually won it, even though we all know it was Wakataka Kage. So Hakuho was pretty much back to his usual. Well, maybe not. I saw a lot of stuff on
self.
Twitter, people that know a lot better than we would, that he wasn't quite his usual self because obviously he tore his bicep earlier in the year and doesn't quite have that strength back in that arm. But still, a Hakuho at like 90-85% is far superior to everybody else in the field, especially when half of the field drops out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Well, when you only have one legitimate Ozeki actually competing against you, and then the rest are Komosubi, Sekiwake, and Magashira, it's almost disheartening. I mean, you want there to be stiff competition for Hakuho, but it's there, but it's just not quite to that level that it needs to be yet.
Yeah, 4 of the top 7 were gone.
Right.
So, like, it's just, I don't know. I hate these Basho that end up with a little bit of an asterisk. Like, the ones that Mitake Yumi has won have been because so many people have pulled out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks, but, I mean, we clearly saw that this next generation of guys that are on their way up, not Hakuho's level.
No,
definitely
not. I mean, not yet. I don't think we're ever going to see anybody Hakuho's level.
But like even like 38-year-old decrepit one bicep Hakuho, like
not quite 38, maybe 33 or 34, I think. But
it's the same thing.
Still,
that's ancient
enough.
That's
to just
over the hill.
Completely destroy the field.
Yeah. We did see, I think, Flaric's favorite form of Hakuho, which was kind of sassy, kind of a dick Hakuho.
Yep.
Just to kind of go through the list of things that we could find that Hakuho did. He beat Takara Fuji and then just like immediately swiped at it right over his head for like no reason. I don't know why that was there. He shoved Tamawashi after a couple of matas in their match that they had.
Tamawashi deserves it, though.
I mean, Tamawashi always deserves that. He destroyed Endo's face when they faced off. He led with the left hand slap and then followed that up with a forearm right to the. I thought he might have broken Endo's nose.
That's what I thought.
But he looked fine the next day.
He looked fine the next day, so maybe not broken it, but definitely bloodied up Endo's nose quite a bit.
We got some pretty illustrative pictures of what happened on our Instagram if you want to check that out.
Ooh. He also, weird thing, 2 days ago against Abi, he easily beat Abi, but then Abi like fell off the dohyo, and Hakuho just like hopped off the dohyo like right in front of him. It's not like Hakuho's momentum was taking him off the dohyo. It's just Hakuho wanted to follow Abi and show him who's boss, I guess.
Abi, the guy who beat him the first time they met.
That's true.
Oh, that is true.
Hakuho needs to make sure that Abi remembers who is the better man.
I'm just so thankful that Tochi Ozan was far enough down to face Hakuho this Basho.
He'd have wound up in the bleachers at that point. Like, not even the first row, like, you're gone.
With the mood Hakuho was in this Basho, Tochi Ozan would not have survived.
He definitely carried that big Hawk energy.
Yeah. And then the last kind of thing that he did was in his final match, after he had the Yusho wrapped up, in a match against Taka Keisho, they couldn't really agree on the first time they squatted down. They couldn't really agree on a Tachi. They got up, and then Taka Keisho had his fist down. Hakuho went from standing to squatting fist down and into a Tachi in the matter of a second.
If ever there was a display of that big Hawk energy, as Jake just so
is that a new
eloquently
thing now?
placed it,
Is that a
that
thing?
was it. Well, it has to be.
Okay.
Now. But that was it. Because Takakeisho was down. He did everything. Hakuho has to do everything last. If you noticed in all of his matches, the other Rikshi have to throw their salt first. They have to go down first. And then when Hakuho's ready, then he gets down. In this case, Takakeisho did all of those things and was ready to go. And Hakuho just, that big Hawk energy just coming straight through and going, I mean, not going to happen.
He didn't do anything wrong. He did all the right things. He just did them so much faster than usual.
Oh, no.
He's just so good.
But Takakeisho was able to hold on to it from that initial tachi. He was able to fight into a standstill, and what a standstill it was.
It lasted a while, but I I think we all knew Hakuho had his belt, and there was no chance that Takakeisho was coming back.
I feel like Hakuho gave him like a chance. Like, okay, I have your belt right at the edge. You want to get out of the way?
Like
right?
you're done. You're done.
Okay,
you can't
I'm gonna win.
yourself.
It's like, okay, you're not gonna move. All right, I'll just win.
But yeah, it was just kind of typical Hakuho Yusho. He led from the very beginning. He had it wrapped up on day 14. Just not really a whole lot of excitement in the Yusho race this time.
Yeah, it was fun to see Asanoyama kind of solidifying himself as the top up and comer at the moment. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, there was not a lot of drama at the top.
No, and there wasn't a whole lot of drama at the top because we have a very...
The top was missing.
The top was missing, exactly.
The top wasn't
It was
even
a convertible Basho.
The other half of the Yokozuna group, Kakuryu, pulled out before the tournament even started, and then we had 2/3 of the Ozeki pull out in the middle of the Basho. We had Goeido pull out after day 1, and we had Takayasu pull out after day 8. And so that left Takakeisho as the sole Ozeki in this tournament. And so let's just kind of run through our current state of the Ozeki. So as we mentioned, Goeido, he pulled out. He is Kadoban, so that means he needs to get Kachikoshi in the next Basho to maintain his Ozeki status. This will be the 9th time, I believe, that he is Kadoban.
So business as usual.
Business
for
as
Goeido.
usual for Goeido.
This is not unheard of.
Yeah. It'll depend on that ankle injury. I think he was quoted after he pulled out saying that he's disappointed for his fans that he wasn't able to do the sumo and that it might be a while before they see him again. So this ankle injury might be something that keeps him out, and he might not be able to defend his Kadoban status at the Hatsu Basho. And I think I'm going to shock the world when I say, not like this. This is not how Goeido goes down.
This is what's disappointing you.
I want to see him go down because of his mediocrity, not because of an injury.
The man's still an Ozeki.
He is an Ozeki, and that I would rather see him. I think I would rather see him maintain his Ozeki status for now because I don't like it when the injuries are taking people out.
Yeah. Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
Before we move on to the next guy.
Uh-oh. Fleric.
Let's get that dosing spoon back over here.
So, Jake, what are we giving Fleric this time? I believe this is the hot sauce that Mac brought, which was recommended to you by somebody, right, Mac?
Indeed it was. This hot sauce is brought to you by our fantasy winner, Casey Mustang. Thank you for recommending this. I found it to be quite enjoyable, and I have a high spice tolerance.
Valentina salsa picante.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Have at it. Down the hatch.
Why'd you pour so much?
Why'd you lose?
Why did you lose, dude?
Why did you pour so much?
Oh.
Milk.
Full. Drink.
Why did you pour so much?
Let him recover, Jake.
No, this is one I must strike.
At his weakest.
So the next guy, right?
Yeah, the next guy was Takayasu.
I still have yet to be appeased here.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Oh, Yokozuna Jake.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, so Takayasu, he was Kadoban coming into this Basho.
Are you starting to sweat?
No. It's just really hot in here.
Oh, is it?
It's just moisture from the air.
Yeah.
Takayasu was nursing that elbow injury that he had received against Tamawashi in the Nagoya Basho, and so he needed to get to 8 wins this time to maintain his Ozeki status, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it was the elbow that took him out, although it was clear that elbow was still bothering him. It was a strained back that took Takayasu out on day 8, which removed any chance for him to remain Ozeki, so he's going to be demoted down to Sekiwake for the Hatsu Basho, and will need 10 wins, much like Tochinoshin did this year, Takakeisho did this year, to regain his Ozeki status.
We mentioned it on the midway, but he did get partial revenge for his injury on Tamawashi.
We'll get to that a little bit when we're handing out awards for the Basho.
Okay, good.
Takakeisho, good job, buddy. You're an Ozeki. You had a winning record. You didn't quite get to 10 wins, which is kind of what we'd want to see from an Ozeki. But you know what? Coming back from a pec injury and you actually participated in the whole Basho, you get a blue ribbon. You get a partake.
Oh, it's doggy time.
Yep. The dogs have been released into the room.
The wife is leaving, so the dogs are our problem now.
Yes.
Oh, God, no. All
right.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, there's 1. Oh, and here comes 2 and 3.
Oh, no.
Anywho,
I get him.
So, yeah, Taka Keisho, he did his job as Ozeki, and that was his first time actually having a successful performance as an Ozeki, as he was immediately injured when he got his Ozeki promotion.
Yeah.
Tochinoshin is another guy that was hoping to get back to the Ozeki rank, as he had been demoted for the second time this year. He needed to get those 10 wins to get back to Ozeki.
I see a 10 in his record. He must have gotten it, right?
No, that's in the wrong spot, Jake. That would be in the absence portion of his record. He was actually 2, 3, and 10. So that means Tochinoshin will be demoted out of the Sanyaku ranks, and if he wants to get back to Ozeki, he's going to have to do it the hard way, meaning he's going to have to do the whole thing over again of averaging or getting 33 wins over 3 basho.
Yeah, and it sucks because he wasn't doing terribly.
He started 2 and 2.
He started 2 and 2. Yeah, I mean, that's, he could have recovered from that.
Yeah.
But then he just beat Takarafuji too hard, I guess.
Yeah.
So hard that his ribs decided to separate from each other.
Yeah. Which is not what you want ribs to do.
Typically, no.
Indeed not.
So, Fleric, what are your prognostications for Tochinoshin's career? Are we going to see Ozeki Tochinoshin again?
I think the stars really have to align, kind of like what they did the first time when we got the Ozeki promotion, for him to actually become Ozeki again. I can see him being a Sanyaku mainstay, though. If he is, he definitely got hurt, but I definitely like some of the matches that he was doing at the time against people. I can easily see, if he keeps on getting healthy, I can easily see him around the Komusubi or Sekiwaki level.
But you don't think he'll get that Ozeki thing again?
He's too inconsistent with injuries until I see a string of bashos where he's actually staying healthy. I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah, since he got that promotion, he got promoted after the May tournament in 2018. Since then, he has had 3 tournaments with a winning record. That's it.
Yeah, not good. What about you, Mac? What are your prognostications for Tochinoshin?
It's grim, definitely grim. But I think we are witnessing another Koto Shogiku for when he fell, and he's just been trying to regain his rank. He's been looking great in the midsection. I say looking great. Past
great in the midsection.
Well,
his ample midsection.
But in this case, Koto Shogiku did not have that great of a basho, and he was lower ranked Magashira. I think, as hard as this is to say, Tochinoshin is going to go down a similar path. I think we're starting to see the waning of Koto Shogiku, who was an Ozeki for a long time. And in this case, Tochinoshin's had many more injuries than Koto Shogiku has. Granted, he was not an Ozeki mainstay as long, but I think we're going to see him down in the mid-level and then slowly start to decline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with Fleric that I think we could see him in the Sanyaku ranks every once in a while, but I think he's just shown over the past year and a half that he just gets injured too often to ever put together another similar run. And at his age, really, I just think it's super unrealistic for anybody to expect him to actually get back to the Ozeki rank. It's hard enough for somebody like Mitake Yumi to get there, and Tochinoshin, who's 32 years old and fighting who knows how many injuries. I just can't see that actually happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Koto Shogiku is kind of baffling since you brought that comparison up, Mac. I don't understand how he dipped. He started to decline, and he dipped one or two tiers of elite status, and then just stopped declining. You know?
Well, yeah, no, exactly.
I don't foresee that situation with Tochinoshin. I think the
More
injuries,
of a yo-yo?
if he didn't have the Ozeki rank, if we didn't include that, his record over the last year and a half, he'd be down in Juryo by now. Pulling out every other basho and maybe barely clinging to an 8 and 7 now and then, things like that. I don't know. I would be surprised if he's still around in a year, because I feel like his decline is not going to be the same type as Koto Shogiku. I think with the problems that he has are primarily injury related, and I don't see any way that goes away.
And unfortunately, it's a different injury every time.
Yeah.
Except for that right knee, which always seems to reoccur
He's
once
just
or twice a year.
He's just like a lemon, every single different thing is going wrong every time.
He needs to take more lessons
sucks.
from Ikkyoi. More tape. Lots more tape.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more tape he can put on that right knee.
Oh, it can be done.
I
It
loved.
can be done.
I didn't watch a lot of Juryo this tournament, but I turned on the last day because I wanted to make sure to catch the playoffs, and I'm like, of course, Ikioi has tape on his face.
Yeah.
Like,
Not as
obviously.
much,
it was
but-
the least surprising thing I've ever seen.
Correct.
So I think the Ozeki rank is probably what we've talked about the most on this podcast this year. So let's do a quick year in the Ozeki rank recap. So we started Hatsu off with 3 Ozeki. We had Goedo, Takayasu, and Tochinoshin. And then we actually kept those 3 and Haru. And then things went to shit. We had 3 in Natsu, but that included a Tochinoshin demotion and a Takakeisho promotion. And then we had 4 in Nagoya as Tochinoshin was re-promoted. Then we were back down to 3 in Aki after Takakeisho was demoted. And we had 3 in Kyushu as Tochinoshin was once again demoted and Takakeisho was once again promoted. And now we're going to start Hatsu with 2 Ozeki as Takayasu has been demoted and Tochinoshin is going to be kicked down the Bansuke without a chance for re-promotion. So what's the future look like at the Ozeki rank? We do have Takayasu who could bolster the ranks make it 3 again if he gets his 10 wins at Sekiwake, but that's assuming Goedo is able to get his 8 wins as Ozeki to maintain Ozeki. So we could end up with 1 for Haru. We could end up with 3 for Haru.
We also have Asanoyama, one good basho away from getting promoted. Potential.
I don't know about that.
Really good, but
Yeah.
he's at 21 wins in the last 2.
He is, but one of them's from Maegashira 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if he got up to 33, 34 wins, especially if it came with a Yusho, I wouldn't be shocked if
If he
it
gets
happened.
Yusho, I think I could see it happening with that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But it's
at
he's really the only guy that's in a position where it could happen that soon.
Yeah, he could be in his second one, provided he has an amazing 14-1, 13-2 basho in Hatsu. I think this is more likely his first in an Ozeki run where
That's
he
fair
just needs
too.
to
Yeah.
be consistent. But yeah, he's probably the most likely guy to jump up to Ozeki. Although I don't know how likely do we think it is Asanoyama jumps up to Ozeki at the beginning part of next year?
I think so. Definitely the case. Once he gets, I think he's definitely going to become Sekiwaki. I have no idea what the
I
rank
think
is.
he'll be
definitely,
Sekiwake next
definitely.
basho.
Oh, for sure.
He'll be
He'll
definitely
be the first one.
Yeah.
He'll be put up there somewhere, and then if he just puts another showing like he did this one, I believe that would be. You said the second one. Yeah,
because he
I
had
think
10 in the last tournament and he got 11 this time.
yeah, he's definitely the thing about him. Why he's having very consistent bashos in a row, and he's young, no sign of kind of injury stuff that's actually going to be
Yet.
plaguing him.
Yeah, barring injury, I'd be shocked if he wasn't Ozeki in at
Like
the end
Haru-
of next year.
Haru and Natsu, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
End of it- end of it, yeah, too.
I do have to cut you off for a moment here, though,
Oh no!
because it is time.
All right, lay it on me.
All right, so this one is a little bit different. It's not actually a hot sauce because we had to take into account maybe Mac would win this, and he has a very unfortunate esophagus situation.
I indeed do.
And so my wife actually came
Very
up with
unfortunate
the,
esophagus.
with the brilliant idea of, you know what's hot but doesn't have any nightshades in it? Wasabi. And so I got nice prepared wasabi in a tube, which in America means this is straight up horseradish.
With food coloring.
So Jake, not Jake, Flair.
say, like, what?
No. I liked what you were saying with Yokozuna, Jake.
That is. Oh,
Yokozuna first, right?
oh yeah, sure.
And I don't think Melk is going to save you on this one,
Nope.
Flaric.
Can
So
I get some sushi to go with this?
no,
Dang it.
Yeah,
So-
give me an hour. I'll be back.
down the hatch.
I'll wait.
There it goes.
If you did not pick that up,
Face. Oh, the face.
Flarix just said, "Oh no."
There was about 2 solid seconds of just kind of.
Oh, he's crying. Oh, shit. Oh, he's got tears in his eyes, ladies and gentlemen.
So I think the wasabi was successful.
That's a winner.
Flaric
Milk.
might be done.
We are killing our friend.
Maybe less wasabi next time.
God.
Yikes.
It's funny, but I hate to see him this way.
This is painful.
Oh man, it's going to be tough to edit out the vomiting.
All right, duly noted. Less wasabi next time.
Yes.
If you get through part 4, maybe we'll take pity on you and slow the timing. But we'll
think
see.
this is a good transition because Fleric is choking just as hard as Mitake Yumi did in this Basho.
Well done.
Indeed, excellent transition.
Great podcasting right there.
So, Fleric, status update.
Mitake Yumi choked. he didn't look good.
He did not. He had a 6-9 record. What the hell, Mitake Yumi?
But we went back to that in the preview. Like, he just wasn't there. He does this all the time where he looks great. He'll have a couple of really good basho where it looks like he's finally on his Ozeki run, and then he craps the bed. Like, this is becoming a main thing with Mitake Yumi. I don't like this.
Yeah. It sucks because when he's on, he looks like he should be, one of the next top guys here. And then it's hard to tell what specifically is different between his terrible performances and his excellent performances.
Yeah.
Like, obviously the total number of wins is different, but what is different about his style that that causes that?
I don't think it's a style thing that changes. I think it honestly seems like an effort thing. Like, he just doesn't have the drive. Maybe it's like the nerves get to him or something, but it just seems like when he's on, he's pushing forward and he can't be moved. But this Basho, he was very movable and couldn't finish people when he was pushing them.
Yeah, he definitely looked different after he got the head injury. I think in a lot of sense, maybe he was like a little timid at the tachi, not wanting to hit the same spot, maybe reopen the wound. Maybe he got stitches underneath that Band-Aid. It's
Possible concussion.
Possible concussion as well. It's possibly that. But I think that's kind of like the big thing that stood out to me. Like, he seemed different after that match.
Yeah, definitely. And I got a little bit of a mini fun fact. I was interested to see how many Rikshi that won a Basho when they were in the Sanyaku ranks, how many of those followed it up with a losing performance in the next Basho. And I limited this to people who pretty much completed the entire Basho. Cause,
no injuries?
Yeah, because how many times has Hakuho won a Basho and then missed the next one?
Yeah, fair.
So that has only happened 7 times in sumo where you won a Basho in the Sanyaku ranks and then followed it up with a losing performance. And 2 of those happened this year with Tamawashi and Mitake Yumi.
Oh, yeah, Tamawashi won a Yusho. I'm going to be saying that every time it's brought up for the rest of my life, I think.
The Kotsunage of Doom.
So, yeah, it happened twice this year, and it hadn't happened since Kaio did it in 2003. And I was just curious, who had the worst record following up a Yusho that you would won in the Sanyaku ranks? And that went to Sekiwake Chiyo Taikai, who went 3-8-4. So he was clearly injured at some point in this Basho. And so who had the worst record, who completed the entire Basho? That would be Tamawashi, Kirishima, and Kita Fuji. All had a 5-10 follow-up to their Yusho win. So it's not very often that somebody in the Sanyaku ranks wins a Yusho and then just completely blows it the next Basho.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Because Asanoyama, earlier this year, he won it at Maegashira 8, went up to Maegashira 1. He followed that up with a 7 and 8, but I think we all kind of expect that for Maegashira jumping up into the rankings and into the Sanyaku or into the Joy for the first time. So it's not surprising there, but for somebody in the Sanyaku ranks to win it and then completely crap the bed the next time is a little surprising, I think. So we've gone through in great detail how many Ozeki changes we've had this year. So I'm going to put it on you guys. How many Ozeki at this time next year will there be?
I'll jump in first here. I think there will probably be 2 or 3. I do think Takakeisho will stick around. Like I said, Asanoyama I got high faith in. And between Goedo and Takayasu, I bet one of them is the other one. It's hard to see anybody new busting into those ranks that soon, but guys like Abi, Hokuto Fuji look like they could be, and Mitake Yumi at this point has completely demolished any faith I had in him putting together 3 in a row. Yeah. So, yeah, I would guess Goedo or Takayasu, Takakeisho, Asanoyama. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think very similar into that regard, with more faith into Takayasu. I think if the prognosis of Goedo not showing up, obviously his record of actually getting 30, well, I guess he only need to get 10 wins after that. But I definitely have more faith in Takayasu.
So you're thinking 3, Takayasu, Takakeisho, and Asanoyama?
Yep.
Yeah, do you really see Goedo doing well enough to earn back Ozeki? No. I can see him sticking around at Ozeki for a long time, but
I can
earning
see
it
him
back?
being re-promoted after like needing the 10 at Sekiwake, but if he gets past that point, I can't see him putting together
Oh yeah,
a run.
heck no, that's not going to happen.
How about you, Mac?
I'm also on the 3 train. I think Takakeisho, definitely. Takayasu probably has the best chance of it. That is if he can still remain healthy. And then Asanoyama or maybe Mitakayumi. But I highly doubt that at this point. So 3. I'm going to go with 3.
I'm going to go with 2. I'm going to say definitely Takakeisho. And for some reason, I can never like actually see in my mind like somebody actually being promoted to Ozeki. It just always seems like such a huge jump. Like Takakeisho, like until it happened, I never actually thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in that same space with Asanoyama right now, and I think Goedo is just a cockroach. You can't kill it. He's going to survive he's going to forever be Ozeki until the end of time.
Yeah, he loses one of his legs. He has like 6 more or 5 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Good to go. Here's a good question. Who do we? How many Yokozuna do you think we're gonna have by next year?
I think 1, and I don't think it's Hakuho.
Nope. I think after the Olympics, I think Hakuho's
I think after the
done.
Olympics, Hakuho's hanging it out.
I'm with you.
I see.
I'm with you.
It's possible. Do we think there's anyone new of the people we have?
I can't. It's kind of the same thing as me with I can't see anybody ever being promoted to Ozeki, but like triple with I can't see anybody being promoted to
A
Yokozuna.
healthy Takakeisho?
If he's the only guy,
Yeah, like I could easily see Hakuho and Kakuryu missing multiple Bashos.
yeah, I think
throughout the
it'll
year.
turn into a triumvirate of Takakeisho, Mitakayumi, and Asanoyama. Kind of dominating.
Mitakayumi getting a Yusho and then just doing terribly the other 2 and then
Yeah.
coming back for a 3rd in the cycle.
He would be the new Goedo. Mitakayumi would be the new Goedo.
I think if Kakuryu and Hakuho were both out of the picture, those 3 would kind of be your top 3. Unfortunately, Takayasu, Goedo, they've been too injury prone recently. But I think it would be a lower top of the field than we are currently seeing.
Oh, we sure wouldn't see like, one guy getting 43 Yusho.
I think we'll be seeing a lot more 12-3 Yusho wins and not like 14-1 or 15-0.
Yeah, I'm going to say kind of a dark horse with Takakeisho maybe getting Yokozuna within next year. I am going to be very interested to see how he goes.
Yeah, hopefully he can remain healthy. So we've talked about both of the Sekiwake in this basho. We've talked about the Ozeki. Let's talk about the 4 Komosubi that we had. I think we've already talked plenty about Asanoyama, what we think about him. He did real good this time, 11-4, Jun Yusho, Gino Sho. Most likely he's going to be the top Sekiwake in the next tournament. Actually, real quick, backing up to Mitakayumi, with a 6-9 record, he will more than likely not be in the Sanyaku ranks for the first time in the history of this podcast.
Oh, it goes back that far.
Holy
it's a
crap,
historic
you're
streak.
right.
I knew that.
It's been like 3 years that he's been in the Sanyaku ranks.
Wow.
All the way through.
I remember we did a fun fact. I can't remember the results of it, but like we looked into like longest streaks, and he's up there for sure.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So Asanoyama probably jumping Abi, who had a 9-6, but I
can
think
see
those are
Abi
probably
forcing a 3rd Sekiwake spot.
Oh, that's right, because Takayasu has to come down to him.
Right.
So I think my Bonsuke prediction will have 3 Sekiwake, but we're just going to have 2 Komosubi. We're going to have Daisho and probably Miyugiryu. There might be somebody else who can jump above them. I haven't checked it out too much.
I gotcha. Yeah, so it kind of depends on where Mitakayumi and Miyugiryu intersect.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Mitakayumi at Maegashira 1 in the next time. I don't know how often somebody in the Sanyaku ranks that gets a 6-9 stays in the Sanyaku ranks. I think that's pretty much automatic out of Sanyaku.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does not seem like there's any sort of situation that would lead to us continuing for Komosubi. That's for sure.
Correct. So yeah, Asanoyama did great. Abi has continued to stay pretty consistent. I'd say this was his best basho as a Komosubi. He didn't have any phantom wins like he did last
with like the
basho.
hair pull and the Fusang.
Yep, he looked pretty good. So Fleric, what are you thinking about Abi?
I love the guy. He's going to do great. No, he's definitely one-dimensional. I was kind of more hyped when he was grabbing the belt and trying to change his style, but he seems to be done with that. And
That anime arc has ended.
yeah, I think he's might be more of a side character now. Maybe not so much the protagonist.
I would add on, I would say he's like 1.1 dimensional because he's got the pushing thrusting, and he's also pretty good at moving sideways on the Tawara.
Lateral.
But that's like
Go lateral.
But that is like the extent of the
Point one
skills.
right there. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. He definitely likes to attack that throat after the Tachi.
So
But we'll see how it goes. I think we're kind of moving on to an Asanoyama protagonist now.
Oh, okay. Flarrick's moving TV shows.
Indeed.
But I don't think we can count him out yet. I still think Abi's young enough. We could potentially see him develop further, but for right now, it's been working for Takakeisho. I mean, look at what Takakeisho's been doing with his push thrusting. It's just, Abi's just so lanky.
Yeah,
Takakeisho has the advantage of lower center of gravity.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a different style. Takeisho's like, I'm gonna just overpower you, and like I'm so big you can't outpush me.
Right.
And like Abi's is kind of like, I'm gonna attack your throat and just move like side. It's a very different style.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be like a very powerful.
Sure.
They're powerful thrusts, but not like as overpowering that Takakeisho is.
Yeah, like if you took away any identifying characteristics and only could see the style, you would very easily be able to see the style difference between Abi and Takakeisho's pushing. But yeah, I mean, on face value, yeah, they're both fairly straightforward one-dimensional pushers.
All right, let me put this out to the two big Abi fans on this podcast. That'd be Flarrick and Mac, I think, are the two biggest Abi fans.
I think that's a correct assumption.
yeah.
Before you ask, though,
Uh-oh.
your Yokozuna has another task for you, Flarrick. Now it is time. I bought some hot sauce the other day from my local grocery store, and it was wimpy. So what I did was I went and got a couple habaneros, and I just sliced them up.
Oh, you're
Why?
mean.
Why did you have to go the extra step?
Because I want you to experience pain. Do not touch those with your bare fingers.
No.
Be very careful about that. I chopped them up without gloves on or anything yesterday, and then I picked my nose, and I was in agony for like an hour.
He hasn't touched himself since.
I'm being very careful.
All right, Flarrick's going in, finding the smallest one he can.
Oh.
Right, you are.
No, wait, how many seeds? How many
And-
seeds are on that?
And you better chew it.
Should I watch out for the seeds?
Yes, watch how many seeds are on
Yes,
there.
eat more of the seeds.
No, do not.
They mitigate
Do
the flavor.
not.
All right, so yeah, Flarrick's pretty much just eating straight up habanero pepper now.
Yep. Chew it. Attaboy.
Oh, and it's hit him.
Milk.
This needs to be put down. I need to grab some milk, and I need to cry.
I'm going to take a quick break while you talk about... Oh, Jesus, Flarrick. I'm going to take a quick break here and go take care of the dogs, but it's okay. I'll start over the timer for you. We'll bump it up just a little bit for
You're so
you.
generous.
Through the magic of editing, it'll almost seem like none of that actually happened.
Oh, no, you guys keep going. I'll just go take care
all
of
right.
the dogs.
All right, that's fine. So we'll move on to the other two Komosubi that participated. No, wait,
you
we
never
never finished
asked
the
your
question.
Abi
Yes.
question.
Abi, Ozeki Abi in the future. Do either of you guys see that happening?
That's a no-brainer. That's a yes.
Oh, all right.
I was gonna say no.
Oh, why do you say no?
I just don't see the consistency, and I don't think the way he goes about his style is overpowering enough to get
You don't
to
think so?
Ozeki level. Nope.
I think with his ability to... He has a better ring sense, I would say. I mean, some of it could be a little more frantic, but hey, it's been working for Enho.
I definitely like people who like to like use your speed like as an advantage of moving side to side and kind of be able to push and also pull at the exact same time. He doesn't have that balance figured out of
Not
pushing
yet.
and pulling. Yeah,
It's
and,
tough. His center of gravity is so high.
Yeah, yeah.
In his case, yes.
And so he's definitely kind of using that to his strength of just kind of being nimble on his feet. But I just don't think that's going to be good. I was hesitant. Well, then again, I was hesitant with Takakeisho ever getting Ozeki as well.
Right.
Because I just think pushing thrusting kind of hits a ceiling before too long.
But again, look at Takakeisho. And Abi's had 3 really good tournaments. I mean, he hasn't had a Makekoshi in at least, I want to say, 3 or 4.
This is his third or fourth straight basho as Komosubi, yeah.
Right. So it's working. What he's doing is working. Now, granted, the field above him hasn't been as strong. Like in this one, we were missing pretty much all of the Ozeki and one of the Yokozuna. But again, I still think he has that potential to be an Ozeki.
He has potential, but I think he needs luck to get there. I don't think the way he currently does his current brand of sumo is consistent enough.
Don't give up on the anime pro tag, Claire. Do not.
He hasn't
give
given up. He's just switched the anime protagonist.
Okay, all right.
I'm just trying to read the script at this point. No, it will be interesting. Obviously, he can definitely develop to something else, and the people above him make a big play about whether or not he actually gets to Ozeki or not. If the top four people retire or so next year, he definitely has a play on it. But as it stands right now, I don't think so.
So the other two Komusubi that we had Endo and Hokuto Fuji. Both of those guys could not live up to the same caliber as Abi and Asanoyama, as both of them ended up with a 7-8 record, which I think is pretty much. This all pretty much played out exactly how we thought it would. We all said Asanoyama would be the best performing Komusubi, and then I think we all kind of pegged Hokuto Fuji for 7-8, which continues his amazing streak of only getting 9 and 6s or 7 and 8s. I think this is almost a straight year of either 7 and 8 or 9 and 6 for Hokuto Fuji. So he'll be down at like Maegashira 1 next time. So he's back in perfect Kinboshi area. So let's move on. Just some other Rikishi that were important in this basho. We had Daisho, we mentioned before, got the Shukunsho Outstanding Performance Prize. He looked pretty good. He's been just a guy that's been in the top 3 Maegashira ranks for a little while now, and has just never been one that's completely gotten knocked out like Meisei did, where he got like the 4 and 11. He's just been consistent and slowly rising, and I think he should be rewarded this time with getting into the Sanyaku ranks for the first time in his career.
He is one of the last top-level guys for me to be able to recognize by face. I don't know what it is about him, but he is so nondescript. But yeah, he's 26, so he's about the same age as like Mitakayumi and Abi, in that lower end of the prime. So I think he probably even has further up he can go. But I don't know. I don't want to predict too far in the future, too much improvement. But I think for now he's probably in that level where he'll be a Komusubi for a while or something.
I think he's one of those guys like Tochiozan or something where he'll reach like the Sekiwake. He's not going to stay there for any length of time.
Think so?
I think he could reach the Sekiwake rank, but I don't think he's ever going to go above that. I think he'll be one of those guys that kind of just like hovers around upper Maegashira for his career.
Yeah, a joy mainstay while he still stays healthy.
Yeah, definitely.
We mentioned Shodai as well. He had a very good performance after getting knocked down the Bansuke.
The hot garbage Shodai.
I think
definitely
he
hot to this time.
I think he listened to the podcast and he was like, "What? This one people in America, what do they think about me?"
I can't let them continue this.
No, he's definitely not a mid Bansuke person. He's definitely a top Bansuke person. Is what I think. This basho kind of cemented with me.
So Fleric, Shodai, is he hot garbage?
And the joy, yes.
Fair enough.
But he might be the top 16 in the world.
Okay.
Well, he might be. He could be.
Yeah, a joy mainstay, and similar to, but a little bit better than Chiyo Tairyu, who I pegged as, I thought he would get better than 9 and 6. He's been in the joy for, a handful of basho in a row now, and he went way down, and I thought that it was going to be a chance for him to rebound big, but it's still a rebound for him.
Chiyo Tairyu is a guy who is older than I thought he was. How old do you guys think Chiyo Tairyu is?
Probably like 31.
I would say kind of 28, 29.
Yeah, I'd say 29.
Jake got it exactly right. He's 31.
Oh.
I'm assuming Jake somehow looked that up.
I've memorized every single statistic. Yeah.
Also, we had somebody on Twitter ask us about Yu Takayama. He started off the basho pretty hot, leveled out, ended up with an 8 and 7 record. But he was asking us, how do we think Yu Takayama can improve to reach the next level? I think the highest Yu Takayama has ever been is Maegashira 2. He's never quite made it into the Sanyaku ranks. He did have a very impressive basho when Mitakayumi won it last year, where he went 12 and 3 and won the Junhyu show, and I think he actually beat Mitakayumi in that basho. Since then, I think he got injured, dropped down to Juryo for a little bit, but he's on his way back up. So, what do you think Yu Takayama can do to reach the next level?
I'm trying to think of his matches this basho, but none of them really stuck out for the most part. I think they're pretty nondescript, but I know why I always watch him. He kind of seems like this guy's pretty good. Like I think
well-rounded. He's a well-rounded wrestler.
He definitely has potential. As for advice on how to get to the next level, he kind of reminds me of a Mitakayumi almost with his style of just kind of being a big bowling ball that just pushes and thrusts
without really anything super exciting in particular.
Yeah,
it's kind of strange. When he got that Junyu show last year, I know I definitely thought that. For a while, I mixed him and Asanoyama up because they're similar build. They're facially are almost kind of similar too, but like they were both coming in at the same time, give or take. And I really thought that Yutakiyama was going to be the one that peaked higher and first, but obviously that was wrong. I don't know what it is about his style that is limiting him.
I think he needs to work on the belt game. I think, as Flair said, he's mostly just moving forward, pushing, thrusting, kind of the Oshi game. I think mix it up a little bit with the belt, work on that, because I think that's what Asanoyama has on everybody else. That's kind of up and coming. He is very good on the belt.
He also has the body type for it.
Yeah,
also true.
He's a very big and tall guy. He can really get some good leverage.
Yeah, I think one thing about his style that I have noticed is that it never really seems like. Again, just because their names are similar, and I'm going to keep doing this, compare him to Asanoyama here, but in Asanoyama's matches, you see what he is trying to do, and you see that he is making his opponents react to what he is doing and put them on the defensive. He'll grab the belt, he'll start for working one way or the other or something like that, but Yutakiyama does not seem to take the initiative. He doesn't seem to...
Reactive sumo.
Yeah, and it doesn't. And this is certainly not exclusive to him, but like for him, it mostly seems like he starts thinking about the match when the match starts. There isn't.
He doesn't have planning. Like,
I don't know.
Have like diagrams beforehand.
Yeah, and
he's not watching film till the wee hours of the morning.
I like to assume like every other rickshi have like glasses on. They're just kind of like huge whiteboards. Okay, he moves left. I do this. I do
giant
that.
flow chart. Yeah,
yeah.
But no, I don't know. In that. I would love to just watch all of his matches in a row to make sure that I'm, articulating that correctly. But it does not seem like he's somebody that he's too varied in his attack to really tell what he's best at.
Yeah,
and it's not. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like he takes the initiative often enough.
It's interesting you said the defensive sumo, because I definitely remind me of Kakuryu at times, of where he'd be very reactive and kind of defensive. He would kind of survive the tachiai, and then he'd just kind of figure out the person, like just kind of deal with them.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me a lot of StarCraft, because there's actually a point here, like where a lot of people thought like the best way to play is a reactive play style. You figure out what the person's trying to do, and I know everything. I'm so good at the game. I know all the variables coming in. I know how to react to it where I win every single time. So it's kind of the same thing with sumo, where someone kind of attacks. If you come out attack, okay, he has this leg here. He's doing this. I know how to beat this every single time, and I can go ahead and do that. It's also the hardest thing to do, because to know every single kind of variable and know how to react, it's really, really hard.
Which is why taking the initiative generally would be the better way to go. Make your opponent do the thinking while you're the one who is doing the planning.
It just boils down to more experience. He just needs more experience, more time, and more ability to develop his own brand of sumo. I know we use that a lot, but that's pretty much what it is. I mean, he's still a young wrestler. He still has a great career ahead of him if he stays healthy.
Yeah. I'll be curious if he continues. I'll kind of watch for if it's more of a reactive, more of an attacking style. Yes, curious if he continues to develop that or not.
Thank you at 17 beers and a whore for that question.
I love that handle. That's amazing.
If you want to be like at 17 beers and a whore and send us a question on Twitter, feel free, and we will try to answer it on the podcast.
Just like we answered the question from 17 beers and a whore.
Exactly. Hey, you guys. Enho got a Kachikoshi.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of sucked for Flair, because that kind of is what
did.
put him in position for this. But
I'm never going to count that guy out.
Nope.
That little munchkin.
Wee baby
little
Enho.
rascal.
Little wee baby Enho.
I think he's grown up into a rascal now.
Okay, rascal.
He's scrappy.
Yeah.
Speaking of things Fleric loves,
Uh-oh.
the timer just went.
Oh, no.
All right.
We even padded it with some extra time on that one.
We'll make it Fleric's choice for this one. So which one do you want to have, Fleric?
Okay, which one did I not? Honestly, I think the one with like the angry fire face on it was probably the best.
All right.
But maybe my tongue was like the most resistant.
And now it's been worn away.
And
Yeah, we'll
now
find
the
out.
taste buds have been eroded.
I'm going to go with the first one again.
All right. So while I'm dishing this up and Fleric is preparing himself for some hot sauce, why don't you guys talk about Enho and Chiyomaru a little bit,
My
Mac?
bouncing baby boy.
Yeah, so the two memest of the wrestlers both did pretty okay. Enho, we were kind of anticipating this would be the next, getting another tier up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the time he'll finally get destroyed like we keep expecting to
wall.
happen. But no.
Down the hatch for Fleric.
Is that as bad that time?
He seems to be handling it pretty
Okay,
well.
no. This is about... Oh, it's coming.
That one's a delayed reaction.
Yeah, it's delayed, but it's no wasabi.
All right.
No, it's not wasabi. But no, we keep
All right,
thinking
so I
that-
know which one we're finishing on.
we keep thinking that Enho's gonna hit that wall. He's gonna hit that skill divide, and he just hasn't hit it yet. He's making just enough progress that it seems like, okay, well, it's a little higher than we thought it was going to be. So it's impressive to see his reactive brand of sumo, because he tries to go in for a good tachiai, but he goes in so low that it sometimes it's an advantage for him, and then other times it's a disadvantage for him. Like when his opponents can just, pancake him, or make him do the splits, or just completely manhandle him.
Enho is definitely going back to our Yutakiyama discussion. Enho is definitely reactive once he does. If he doesn't get that initial super low grip or something, he's very reactive. But he seems to have a much deeper bag of tricks than almost anybody. Like any strange, weird, wonky position he ends up in, he seems to know exactly what to do. Even when he got totally sunned by Shodai and got like lifted fully off the ground,
He tried to suplex the guy.
it was like on first glance, it was like, wow, Shodai just like lifted him up and hurled him. And on the slow-mo replay, even while he's airborne, Enho almost lands a trip on Shodai. He hooks his leg and pulls it. Shodai I don't know if he was anticipating that or if he just had good enough balance to recover. But I mean, he was airborne and he still had a move to try. I thought that was super impressive, even in a loss. But yeah, all these matches, he always has an answer for something.
So surely the next Basho is the one where Enho finally reaches his limit, because kind of looking at how the Bansuke is going to shake out, he's going to probably be like Maegashira 3-4-ish, and based on how many injuries we get, he could start. He might have like a full Sanyaku schedule that he has to go up against, minus Hakuho.
Minus
That's
Hakuho, I was
He
gonna
has
say.
that advantage.
Oh,
but
he's got that Basho on lock then.
I think we're going to start seeing him in the next Basho go up against some guys in the Sanyaku rank. So that'll be a very interesting test of his skill.
Yeah. One thing I brought this up on Midway that kind of has me worried is just like his left arm, the way he just gets a really death grip on that belt, and sometimes when they try to throw him, it looks like his elbow is just gonna sometime maybe break or something like that, and that just made me really worried about his style.
He's like a little dog playing tug, and you can like lift the dog up by the rope or whatever you're playing with. You know, he's just gripping so hard, but if you're that little, that's not always the
It's
answer.
like your teeth, like surely they can't.
Something has to
withstand
break
this.
here.
Yeah.
Another guy I kind of just want to shine a spotlight on, because we kind of just randomly like, hey, Nishikigi, how many wins he's going to get? And we're like, oh yeah, he's going to get 8 or 9 wins. He's
No.
He was 4-11. So sorry, Nishikigi, for bringing attention to you. Better luck in Juryo next time.
There's going to be a pretty solid amount of turnover here between
There
the top
will
two
be,
divisions.
But you know who's not going to be turning over?
Who's that?
My baby boy.
Oh yeah, we kind
Chiyomaru.
of moved on, even though we mentioned him.
Yeah,
know.
that's the best Chiyomaru's looked in a while.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. I was hoping for double-digit wins, but that's okay. Better luck next time.
All right, moving on. No, the other Rikishi that actually surprised me a lot is Ishiura. Like
He looked good.
He looked really, really good. Like there was like multiple bouts with him. I was like, wow, that's a really good match. I like the way you're doing your sumo.
And I think maybe only one Henka.
Yeah, it was
Yeah?
a dang good.
It was a brilliant Henka.
I love that Henka.
Also, speaking of that, Ryuden can burn in hell for that Henka against Takakeisho.
Oh, come on.
that was perfect.
I was not a fan of that.
Ryuden's another good wrestler. Come on.
He went 6-9 at Megashira.
He's okay. He's okay.
Against the person who bull rushes and tries to push you
It's
off.
not
Yes.
a bad move.
Yeah.
But I hate it.
But I did not like it. So let's move on to an interesting debate that's kind of popped up during this Basho, as we have seen Tomokaze's career kind of put in jeopardy because of it, and Wakataka Kage's surge for a Zensho Yusho was put to a halt because of it.
He was already almost a fifth of the way there.
Yeah.
Or sorry, almost a third of the way there.
Both of these guys were injured because they fell off the dohyo, and there's been a lot of talk brought up if should we lower the dohyo or not. And I think there's a lot of people that feel strongly on both sides of this. I think the people that are for lowering the dohyo is just like, people are just getting hurt. Like, this could significantly affect Tomokaze's career. We know that it pretty much ended Kisei Nosato's career, because I went back and watched that match against Haramo Fuji where he got injured. There was nothing in that match where he like twisted weird or anything like that. He landed straight on his left shoulder, and that caused that torn pectoral that pretty much ended Kisei Nosato's career.
And he would have hit the ground hard regardless, but the fact that there was another 2 feet vertical to fall made it so much worse.
And I think Mac has kind of crunched the numbers on what the height of the dohyo can do to add some add damage to the rickshaw that falls. So
That's
Mac,
a lot of math.
This is what happens when you guys give me homework. I'm like, okay, I will go to a total deep dive into this. So with some initial figures, originally, pre-1931, the diameter of the dohyo was about 13 feet, but it was changed after that to 15, so it was made a little wider. But one thing that's remained pretty consistent is the height of the dohyo has ranged between 1.1 and 2 feet off the ground. And if you look at the acceleration due to gravity, no, I won't. I won't go into that much detail.
You have to show your work, Mac.
I totally can.
in Mac's defense, he did do and show all of his math.
I did.
As a good physics student would do.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so the two big variables in there are the speed generated in the lateral direction and the speed generated in the vertical direction. Vertical has an additional force that needs to be accounted for that, and that is the acceleration due to gravity, which also is affected by the height of not only the rickshaw, but the height at which the dohyo is set. In that case, the force of impact is calculated off of the two summations of the change in energy between the wrestlers in the lateral and vertical direction. The vertical direction's a little easier to calculate. Lateral is kind of dependent per match, but if you eliminate the height of the dohyo from that equation, you definitely have less of an impact going into the wrestlers as they are falling.
Perfect summation.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing to lower it. I don't understand why it has to be built up so high, or at least make it a consistent height. If it's a foot, 2 feet, just keep it consistent.
I think a big problem here is that we can't change it because that's how it is.
Correct.
And that's the end of the conversation.
But nobody's willing to even talk about it further.
no,
It's like we can do the numbers on this.
I'm obviously being facetious there because I would rather have Tomokaze have a career than have it be kind of tall.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that it's they're not going to change it because that's how like it always been. But stuff has been changed like relatively recently in the past.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, because sumo used to be done with under an actual kind of shrine, I believe.
yeah. The roof that you see hanging over the dohyo.
The one with the red, white, black,
I was
and
just
green.
about to bring that up. Shut up. Shut up.
Is that the roof you're speaking of, Jake?
Yes, the one with the green tassel hanging
I will
from
pour
it.
that hot sauce down your throat.
Speaking of, no, Flarix actually got some time.
Yeah. Thank goodness. It's actually the roof that's kind of hanging above to kind of represent like how it was back in the day, of where it was actually under two big wooden posts that were on.
There were four
corners.
posts in the corners.
Four posts, right? You are.
Seeing as it is a square.
Indeed. 4 posts like on the edge actually held up the roof underneath it. But once they kind of got into the time where there was TV, they actually got rid of those. And so
Because they couldn't see. They couldn't get all the angles for the wrestlers.
Exactly. They decided to change it for like the better times. Like, at this time, we don't, like, we can just raise this so we can have a better view. Everyone has a better view. This just makes sense. Let's do it. So in the same thing, that's why I say we should take the same thing they did back then and just say, hey, this raised dohyo, like, back in the day, it kind of made sense. People get a better view. It's kind of looks pretty cool, but it's just hurting people. We should change this.
Yeah, I think another point in favor of sumo does change is the Kosho Seido system, like the injury system that they used to not have, then had, then don't have anymore, where you could miss a basho, and I think it was pretty much freeze your rank for one basho.
Right. And you would get to skip one per year or something like that?
Something like that. But yeah, that is something that has changed, and that's a pretty significant change. So I think this is another pretty significant change that I think they should make just in their defense as to why not to change it beyond just like it's tradition and this is how we do things, which we're not Japanese. We don't live in that culture. That's very, very important for them. So I don't think we could just completely disregard that as Americans. I mean, I think they should still change it, but that is a much bigger reason, a much bigger thing for them than it is for us. I think a point for raised dohyo, it looks cool as hell.
It does look pretty cool.
It looks so much better if it's raised. And I think another thing is it's perfect view for the shimpan on the side to mistake if your heel has touched the sand or not.
Using the Janome.
The Janome, the snake's eyes, which is the sand directly outside of the Tawara. But yeah, I think it does actually help the Shimpan around the ringside to be able to have a better view of if somebody has stepped out or not. Beyond that, I think the big reason is tradition, but I honestly think you should take the health of your rickshi. Look at your top ranks right now and how decimated they are.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, not all of these are injuries due to the height of the dohyo. Takayasu, for one, you can't chalk that up to the height of the dohyo.
It is contact sport.
There's going to be injuries regardless, but I think you should still try to minimize your injuries as much as you can.
Yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of it, the refereeing is a big aspect of it. But I think even if you look at a league that pretends to be as modern as possible, like the NFL, they still trust might be the wrong word. They still defer to the judgment of the people on the field as opposed to the people watching replays when they're determining penalties or spotting the ball or things like that. So, I mean, we can't pretend that the pull of having live local judges isn't important, even though realistically, practically, in a modern sense, they're totally useless.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue the same thing for the NFL. There's no reason to have referees on the field when you have replay available. But regardless, the judging is an important part of that tradition. And if you were to lower the dohyo, it would definitely lessen their ability to judge matches.
And I think there could be some elements of the Shinto religion as to why it's raised up, because these guys, once they're on the dohyo, they're kind of elevated status, I think.
Yeah, I talked to Katie, our podcast senior religion correspondent, about this one, and the fact that it's higher than the ground around it isn't necessarily Shinto directly related to Shinto, but the idea of having something be elevated for importance is pretty universal. Every church that you go to is going to have steps going up to it, for example, or every shrine that we visited when we went to Japan. Remember had stairs going up to platforms, things like that. So yes, elevation does definitely lead to some amount of reverence, but why does it have to be 2 feet and not 4 inches or something?
Yeah, and maybe you don't lower the dohyo, and this would take money out of the hands of the JSA because you have people sitting so close, but maybe you widen how much the elevated section is so that people the Tawara pretty much goes right up to the edge at some points, so it gives them room to be able to step backwards off the dohyo without falling backwards off of the dohyo. I think that would be a good intermediary step between lower the dohyo and not lowering the dohyo. I think extend it out, get rid of 2 rows of seats from the people that are right there so that we have more room for these rickshi not to needlessly hurt themselves.
Yeah, and the people being so close also doesn't help.
No, not at all.
Because it completely changes how you brace yourself for a fall if there are people there.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to Juryo and some of the results down there, because this is where the excitement was in this tournament. So going into day 15, we had, a 5-way tie at the top of Juryo. We had 5 people with a 10-4 record, I believe. And so we could end up with either I think the best we could have ended up with was a 5-way playoff, and we ended up with a 4-way playoff at Juryo. We had 4 people with an 11-4 record. So we had Ikioi, we had Kaisei, we had Azumaryu, and we had, I believe, Kiribayama. Yes. And so how that playoff works is pretty much just 2 of those guys face off, winner moves on. The other 2 face off, winner moves on. The 2 winners face off, and that person ends up winning the Yusho. And
AKA the most boring playoff format.
Some kind of bracket?
The most basic of brackets. And I think the most boring outcome happened with Azumaryu taking the Yusho. That's my opinion. I get no enjoyment out of Azumaryu. But he did win that playoff. He beat, who did he end up beating?
His last round was Kaisei.
Yeah, his last round was Kaisei, and I think he had did he have Ikioi in his first round?
Yes, he did.
All right. So, yeah, he took out those 2 guys to claim his first ever Juryo Yusho and his first Yusho of his career in any division, actually. So, Azumaryu, who had been up in Makuuchi before, he made a 1 Makuuchi appearance last Basho. He'll be back up in Makuuchi for the Hatsu Basho.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, this is the most boring outcome possible, probably, because Ikioi and Kaisei are both extremely popular, well-known guys that we...
Well, they were mainstays.
Yeah, they're guys that I would root for pretty much regardless.
Kiribayama is an up-and-comer.
Right, he's only 23, and he spent some time in Makushita, but just turned a corner and is now like steadily working through Juryo. Whereas Azumaryu is like 32, he's been in Juryo for ages, couple stints. Holy cow, he was in Juryo from 2015 to 2019.
Yep.
That is somebody who knows exactly how skilled they are and has found the exact equilibrium for where they deserve to be.
All right. But yeah, Kiribayama, I think he's going to end up in Makuuchi regardless as well.
Yeah, coming from Juryo 5 West, yeah, he'll be there.
So I'm going to wrap up the remaining U shows from the lower divisions, and then we're going to have Fleric take another shot of hot sauce. Or we'll just have Fleric take the shot while we're doing this. So you guys set it up. I'll go through the lower division results.
Pick your poison.
This one's off the table because you picked it last time.
Give me the that one then, the Mac one, the second one.
Okay,
All right, we'll work on that. Ryan, what results we got?
So the Makushita Yusho went to Terano Fuji. He won his first Yusho on his comeback trail, and depending on how the promotions and demotions go, he may end up back in Juryo for the Hatsu Basho. He's at Makushita 10, so it's not guaranteed, but nonetheless, this is a great step in his comeback. For Sandanme, as we mentioned in the Midway episode, Motobayashi was somebody I was looking at, and he did indeed complete his third straight lower division Yusho, and he is 21-0 in his career.
Fleric has
entered a zen-like state to try to fend off the effects of the hot sauce.
I saw the eyebrows go up, the eyes closed, and just blank otherwise.
I can outthink this. It doesn't hurt.
So yeah, Motobayashi has yet to lose in his career. Plus, his first two Yushos that he won both of those in playoffs, and one of those was a Tomoe Sen where he had to win 2 in a row. So he's really 24-0 in his career outside of Maizumo. So he's going to be pretty high up in Makushita for his fourth career Basho. We'll see how long he can push his undefeated streak.
Oh, geez, that's some perspective. He's even younger than my youngest brother.
He is 23
He's
years
only
old.
23. Holy cow! And he'll be in Makushita.
He's from Kinki University.
Nice.
That is 100% accurate, actually. But yeah, to tell you how rare it is for somebody to go 21-0 and start their career with 3 straight Yushos, he is the 6th ever to reach this mark, and he's the first since Enho to do it.
And he's in Naruto Bea.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the obviously top recruits of that very, very good recruiting stable.
Yes. At Jonidan, the Yusho there went to Hoku Tenkai. That was his second career Basho for this Mongolian, and he is the nephew of Takanoiwa. So hopefully he doesn't completely follow in his...
Rage issues, man. Rage.
Follow in his uncle's footsteps as far as that goes. And then Jono Kuchi, our winner, was Tasamidori. He is actually attempting his 4th chance to rise up the Bansuke, as he has had 3 separate instances where he's missed 3 straight Basho in a row. And he's actually already won a Jono Kuchi and a Jonidan Yusho. So he's trying once again to make a chance to rise up the Bansuke.
You mean former GSB belt champion Tasamidori?
Oh.
Yeah. He the first time out of hopefully many times where somebody we've heard of for other reasons is a previous belt holder of our completely ambiguous self-defined title.
All right, we'll just talk about a couple of the things that happened in lower divisions real quick. Hoshoryu, who we followed his entire career, has made his Sekitori debut, and I think he did a little bit better than what we expected.
He didn't get smacked down.
He did not. He did not quite get that Kachikoshi, falling just short at 7 and 8, but he was at Juryo 13 out of total of 14 Juryo ranks, so he should be able to be safe in Juryo for the next time.
There are 4 guys right in that same rank area that got no more than 5 wins, so there will be other demotions before he would be on the chopping block for sure.
So yeah, hopefully Hoshoryu gets some good luck and stays in Juryo for the next time. There's actually a couple of guys that we were alerted to by our friend of the show, Huata. He told us to look out for Koto Nowaka and Koto Shoho, that are those guys are both on the rise. I believe they are brothers in the Sarotogake. I know I pronounced that wrong.
I'm going to open it up so that we can figure it out.
Yeah, I know it is Sarogotake Beya.
Sarogatake. That is not an easy one.
Sarogatake Beya. So they are brothers. They're both in there.
They have different last names. I don't think they're brothers.
Oh, really? Maybe the Koto is just part of that. But either way, Koto Shoho is 20 years old. He has just completed his 13th basho and was 9-6 in his Sekitori debut. And Koto Nowaka, he is 22 years old. He's completed his 25th basho, and this was his third basho in Juryo, and he has a winning record in each basho, and he's gotten a better record every single time. He started off 8-7, then had a 9-6. This past time he had a 10-5. And I think Wata was looking at these guys because somebody on YouTube has done.
Chris Gould, I believe he said, has done some videos on these guys. So, that would be a fun little research project that I think we should check out.
Sounds like they were both pretty impressive in high school and university, and Chris Gould was on them pretty early. But it sounds like they've got a promising career ahead of them, so we might start following those two Kotos.
Yeah, the list of lower division guys that we're watching is getting a little unwieldy.
Yeah, we might have to start culling a few names for the list. But before we do that, we're going to tell everybody how some of our favorites have done. Naya at Makushita 7 did get a winning record at 4-3. Ryuko at Makushita 30-ish something.
40-some, 43-ish
something. He ended up with a 4-3 record. Roga, he finished off with a 5-2 record. I don't think he has a losing basho yet.
Nope.
All right. Yeah, he had the.
He's gotten at least 5 wins every time, too.
Yeah, he started off with the 2 7-0 U shows and has gone 5-2 every single time since. Waki Ichiro at his highest career rank in Sandanme unfortunately had some bad luck go his way. He finished off with a 2-5 record. From everything I heard on Twitter, sounds like he didn't wrestle as bad as somebody with a 2-5 record. Just some pretty bad breaks. So hopefully he can rebound in the Hatsu Basho. And it sounds like he always performs better in Tokyo. So that's where the next Basho will be.
He's high enough up in Sandanme, he'll stay in that division.
Yeah. Ura actually finished with a 6-1 record. As you notice, we did not mention his name in the U shows. He got tripped up on his way to his 6th win, so he did not get the U show in Jonidan. Hopefully, it's enough for him to make it to the bottom of Sandanme, but he's got over 100 ranks to jump as he's at Jonidan 106.
Holy crap.
And then a couple of new guys that I just wanted to see how they did this basho as they have rocketed up the Bansuke. Tochi Kamiyama, he is 18 years old. He was at Makushita 37 in his 5th basho, got a 3-4 record, and so he's going to drop a little bit in Makushita, probably stay there, though.
So he's now dead to us.
Yeah, exactly. Toki Sakai, though, he is a guy that we might follow a little bit. This is his 4th basho. He's 23 years old at Makushita 56. He got a 5-2 record, so he's continuing his very fast rise up the Bansuke.
Based on his age, I'm guessing he came over from college sumo?
That would be my guess as well. I have no idea.
Okay.
With that, we are going to wrap up our recap portion of the podcast, and we'll come back. We're going to give Fleric one more hellish opportunity to have all of the hot sauces at one time.
Oh, no.
And then we'll have a quick fun fact and cover our usual things that we end with.
As the holiday season approaches and the Basho draws to a close, why not commemorate the final tournament of the year with the latest volume of audiobooks featuring classic sumo literature? Author William Earthquake Spear's fantastic works of poetry and timeless tales, retold by your favorite rikishi, are the perfect gift for anyone. Seriously, we can't get rid of these things fast enough. Enjoy such great works as Onoshio and Hokuto Fuliet.
Oh, Mata.
He speaks. Oh, speak again, fat dumpling.
O Noshio, why the footfoul, O Noshio? Deny thy Heia and refuse thy Shikona, for I shall no longer be a Maegashira.
And who can forget the tragic tale of reclamation and revenge, the Henkest?
This rough Kimerite I here renounce, and when I have perspired some Yobidashi singing, which even now I do, to work mine end upon the dohyo that this tournament is for, I'll renounce my mawashi, hang it high in the heavens of the earth, and further than naked eye can see, I will sever my chon mage.
Or how about one of the greatest tales of betrayal, Juryo Caesar?
A coward Henkas 1,000 times before his defeat, but the bitter taste of disgust but once. It seems to me most strange that Rikishi should fear seeing Makuuchi, our ultimate end, will come when it will come.
And let us not forget that hallowed tale of striving to achieve the ultimate glory, only to be defeated by your own ambitions. Make Beth.
Fumble, bumble, foil and stumble, Gunbai thrust and Shimpan grumble. Hair is pulled and foul is bared. Something thicket this way falls.
Finally, enjoy the rousing tale of a conqueror as he forged a powerful dynasty, only to fall before his reign could truly begin. Kisenosato III.
Now is the basho of our discontent, made glorious Natsu by the son of Tokyo, and all the crowds that cheered within our house in deep elation of the Hanbasho buried.
All this and more classic literature from Sumo on Tape. Go to sumoontape.com and enter promotional code Grand Sumo Breakdown to receive much abi about nothing as a bonus.
Welcome back, and we had a quick meeting of the punishment committee. And we've decided,
with input from Fleric's doctor,
we've decided that we're just going to have Fleric do one more tasting of the hot stuff. But what we have done is we've mixed the 2 hot sauces and the wasabi into one demon sauce, and he's going to dip a habanero pepper into the demon sauce and consume it.
And my doctor approved this?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no.
In fact, he encouraged it. He asked us if we could do more. We're like, no. He really struggled with that wasabi. We were feeling kind of bad for him. So, Fleric, why don't you take it away and just finish your punishment for the basho?
I can
Get that over
smell
with.
I can smell the fumes from here.
Yeah, that
Dear
dipping sauce
God.
is... oh, no, you picked it up with your fingers. You better wash that hand before you go to the bathroom.
And I think
I appreciate that. Thanks.
I think before you eat that, get a lot of
Oh,
good of that
God.
stuff on that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice
we
and
have
deep like in there.
for the
No.
audience, we have all the sauces mixed together, and I have like a habanero,
Sliver.
No.
Now-
Oh, God.
Now look deeply into Jake's eyes and say, thank you,
Into-
Yokozuna Jake.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Yokozuna Jake.
And there she goes.
Oh.
So, Jake, while Fleric dies...
God.
Why?
Why? Why did you lick your fingers? Why did you lick your fingers?
Touching it with anything else. I don't trust it. Actually, let me go wash my hands right now.
All right. Well, Fleric's washing his hands and
/
mouth.
vomiting.
Jake, why don't you update us on the final results for the first tournament where we are following the GSB belt?
The quick 101 on this is we took the very first match of this basho, and whoever won that match was the inaugural champion, and they would pass the belt on to anyone who beat them. So the aforementioned Tosa Midori, the belt passed through his hands. It started with Yutaka Nami, who beat Okuni Asahi. He defended the belt once. Then Otsuji took the belt from him and defended it once. Tosa Midori took the belt on day 5. And Mac just sniffed the hot sauce and almost gagged.
Well, yeah, it's got a lot of wasabi in it.
A lot of wasabi in that thing.
Tosa Midori defended it once, but then on the very last match on day 13, lost it to Ura. GSB. We can always, from now on, refer to him as GSB champion.
Ura.
That's Ura.
All right.
Sorry, I was trying to. I was trying to
Hype it up a
gauge.
little more.
No, I was trying to gauge Fleric's face as he walked back into the room.
My life is pain. But yeah, Ura.
Yay!
So we're gonna have 2 months of Ura as the GSB champion.
That's right.
And he's still gonna be in the lower divisions as long as he doesn't stumble. He could be GSB champion for
He
a
could bring
long
that.
time.
I anticipate him bringing that belt up a little ways. If he goes 7-0, obviously he'll bring it up like 100 ranks or something.
yeah.
But we'll see.
But yeah, in just one basho, we went from Jonokuchi to Jonidan. So we have jumped up to the Jonidan division. So we're just going to go over a little bit of the prediction results. As we mentioned many times, Fleric lost, which is especially sad for him as he started with a 1-point head start over Mac.
Me.
He was 2 points ahead of Mac to start the basho. And it actually, there's the most drama we had was following a couple of matches on the final day to see if it was going to be Fleric or Mac.
This was decided
lost.
today.
So what it came down to is Fleric or Mac needed Daisho to get a special prize, which he did. And so that put him in a position where he was, I believe, a half a point ahead of Fleric.
Because I had Asanoyama for Yusho.
Yes. And so all Fleric needed was Enho to lose his final match, and that would get him 1 point, and that would put him ahead of Mac.
He also needed Kotoyuki to lose.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
which would give him the half-point victory. So basically, on the last day, Fleric needed to win 2 coin flips, and I don't think you won either one. Did you?
Nope. Kotoyuki.
Oh,
Kotoyuki lost.
You won
No,
one of the
Kotoyuki
coin
won.
flips.
Oh, no, sorry. No, Kotoyuki was a loss for me
Yes.
in that he won.
Right, because Mac picked him to do badly.
Yeah,
Correct.
But the
rat
Daisho
bastard.
special prize was the thing that. Oh no, I guess that.
Well, we
wasn't
kind
a
of knew
thing.
that one was coming, though,
Yeah.
because he was the only guy to beat Hakuho. Regardless, though, it came down to the wire. There were a couple matches that Fleric was putting up offerings and prayers and sacrifices to.
Did not work.
Did not work.
But yeah, Jake ended up with 4 points, probably tied for the highest point total we've ever got. Okay, he ended up with 5 points
Because of a wager.
Yes.
But
because of the
still.
wager, but 4 points in the actual
Natural prediction.
Yeah,
predictions.
I got Hakuho Yusho, Asanoyama special prize, and I picked Chio Tairyu to do well and Meisei to do bad. So all worked out pretty good for me.
Yep. So that is how the prediction series shook out. I do have a quick fun fact for everybody. So we had mentioned that Asanoyama actually ended up with the most wins in the Makuuchi division for the 2019 year. And so I wanted to see like who were the top people in Makuuchi for win totals for the year. And so here is your top 10. So Asanoyama with 55 wins in the year. Remember, Hakuho once had 88 wins in a year.
Yeah, it's 90 possible.
Yeah. So Asanoyama, number 1, 55 wins. 1 behind him, Abi with 54.
Woohoo!
Huh, that's kind of a surprise.
2 behind him, Mitakayumi with 52. And then Hakuho. How many tournaments did Hakuho miss?
I'm bringing it up right now.
Yeah. Hakuho ended up with 51, just 4 behind
3. I
Asanoyama.
think he missed 3 Basho this year.
He missed 2.
2, okay.
Yeah. Last November was the
Right,
one
right,
who was
right.
out. So yeah, getting 0 wins in 2 of them, and for Hakuho, only 10 wins in January.
Yeah.
But then he had a total of 4 losses in 3 separate bashos. So yeah.
But yeah, so Hakuho competing in 2/3 of the tournaments, only finishing 4 behind Asanoyama. In 5th place is Endo with 49. And then we have a couple of people tied in 6th with 48. That would be Hokuto Fuji and Tamawashi. 8th is Daisho and Meisei at 47. And rounding out the top 10, anybody want to take a guess?
Enho.
Not quite.
Oh.
Miyagiryu?
Nope.
Mitakayumi.
He was
He
number
was already
3.
there.
Oh, okay.
So good
ahead.
guess.
So number 10, Takara Fuji with 46.
Those glutes. It's the glutes, man.
Huh, indeed.
So some of the names you might have been expecting, Takakeisho, he obviously missed a basho or 2. He ended up with 45, tied for 11th.
Goedo is Goedo.
He had 43, so he was tied with like 6 other people or 5 other people for 15th. Let me find Takayasu. He had 39 on the year, good for 26th.
Wow. That is averaging lower than Kachikoshi. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
And Tochinoshin, he finished 38th in wins on the year with 25, tied with Yago.
Considering that there are only probably like 50-ish guys that competed in Makuuchi this
Just
year,
about.
that is nuts.
Yeah. So yeah, that is your top 10 wins for the year. Oh, I need to find where Kakuryu ended up. Forgot about him. So Kakuryu,
As do most of the fans.
Kakuryu ended up tied for 23rd with 41 wins on the year.
And that's why we forget about him.
Yep.
It sucks when you miss a couple of those bashos. He did pull off a U-show, though. We got to give him
One.
that. All right. What are we moving on to? I think it's time to talk about fantasy a little
Indeed.
bit. And
Yes, let's talk for a long, long time about fantasy because it worked out great for me.
how did fantasy go for you, Fleric?
I hate sumo.
It's a dumb sport, anyways.
Yeah. Or at least trying to predict who's going to win.
So,
No
yeah,
one knows.
Fleric-
Except Hakuho.
Fleric somehow also lost fantasy
I've been there. I've been there.
after inexplicably our guest picker, who had the first overall pick, took Tamawashi.
Turned out to be okay.
I mean,
but-
8 and 7 with 10 overall points for him. That's fine, but you got Hakuho with the second pick, Jake, and he netted you 21 points.
That was a better pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow Fleric still couldn't beat the guy who took Tamawashi 1 overall. But it doesn't help
Yeah.
when Fleric had Goedo and Tomokaze on his team.
Yeah, I think me, Oh, Ryan, you also. There were only 2 teams that actually had a full roster. I take it back. Ichi Yamamoto and Juryo was injured for you.
Yep.
And Wakataka Kage was injured for me.
Yep. So I was the only one that had a full team competing the entire Basho, which on its own probably would have won. But when I had Hakuho, Abi, Shohozan, Chiyomaru, and Ikioi, I demolished you guys.
Yes.
I got 70. Second place of Ryan was at 51.
Yeah. So our guest picker, Casey Mustang on Twitter, he ended up second to last. His team, the Sake Suckers, did not do too great, but he actually sent us a voicemail. So let's listen to that real quick.
Hey, everybody, this is Casey Mustang. The GSB crew asked me to participate in the fantasy draft today, or this basho. They asked me to write up something about my fantasy performance and experience, and since I don't think they want to hear about my dream with Kate Upton, I'll limit my thoughts to just the sumo fantasy competition. Originally, I wanted to call my team Raiso Likes Me More, but Max started crying, and I was threatened to get kicked out of the competition, so I changed it to Saki Suckers. I like that. That's okay. Like a lot of things this basho, my team was struck down by injuries. My first pick of Tamawashi was much insulted, but he did get a Kachikoshi. He didn't get the points I think he deserved or I was hoping for. I figured a long-time Sekiwaki sitting just outside the Joy would do a little bit better than that, but that's okay. I did my brand of fantasies, and I wasn't last, so take that, Flarek. In all honesty, I truly enjoy the podcast, and it was my pleasure getting to participate in it. The guys are as sincere as they sound, and guess what? They didn't even kick me out after the Chiefs beat the Vikings. How about that? Take it easy, and thanks again for letting me be part of the podcast. Take care.
Well, first off, you're now banned from the podcast for those football comments.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate those last place comments of kicking me while I'm down.
Yeah, and third of all,
Hey, it's what we're all doing here, so he might as well join in.
Yeah, but like I feel like I have say to kick him out. Well,
You have seniority.
I have a feeling that your guys are still going to be in my life.
third of all, he was actually kind of turned it around and was really nice to us at the end. He's reinstated. He can listen to the podcast again.
Okay, fine.
So let's move on to the GSB Awards. And I'm going to hand out the first award to Takayasu. The Revenge is a dish best served cold and or warm and sweaty, as Takayasu rubbed his genitals all over Tamawashi's face, getting revenge for Tamawashi, injuring Takayasu, and taking away his Ozeki rank.
Full speed teabag.
Oh, glorious. The Muay Thai award goes to Hakuho TKOing Endo with a clinch elbow that would have made Anderson Silva blush. It was excellent. I mentioned we have some pictures of that on our Instagram, but yeah, he went in for the slap and also kind of used it as a rangefinder to throw his forearm directly into Endo's
Face
brain.
is here and bang.
Yeah, he put his forearm into Endo's brain via the nasal cavity.
I am handing out the I Regret Everything award, and this goes to wee baby Enho after his tragic Tachiai against Chiyomaru. If you slow down the Tachiai just after impact, you can see the regret on his face. I should have Hanka'd, so much so that my wife actually memed it and sent it out.
Oh God, yeah, I put that on Instagram too.
Yeah, I think that's the proudest Mac has ever been of Carolyn.
That, and when she said, "Oh my God, Shodai almost suplexed Enho," I was like, "I love you, wife. I love you so much." Next up is the Fat Man Flying Award. Reach back to some of our original awards. This one goes to Hokuto Fuji. Thanks to Takakeisho's wonderful Tsukyo Toshi, Hokuto Fuji realized his dream of flight. Completely out of the dojo, completely bypassing all of the edge, and went right into the fans.
Unlike his dreams, though, in real life you do land.
Oh, yes. As I went over
Which
earlier
sucks.
with my kinetic energy equations, yeah, he achieved some velocity there.
And our match of the Basho, probably our weakest field to choose from, I think, ever for match of the Basho. Nothing really stood out. Some of the ones we took note of, Okino Umi versus Meisei on day 13, Shohozan versus Enho on day 6.
That was the splits match, right?
Yep. Shohozan versus Koto Shogiku, the hometown showdown on day 4. Tamawashi versus Endo on day 14 was a nice back and forth match. And then also Hokuto Fuji versus Takakeisho on day 9, as we just mentioned, was a good one. But I think we kind of came to the consensus of Okinoumi versus Meisei on day 13. I think really what got us all on that is how both of them were committed to throwing the other one by Uwatanabe. There were multiple failed attempts of them doing it at the same time, and then finally they both threw each other at the same time, but Okinoumi was able to keep himself up just a little bit longer than Meisei as they both basically touched the ground at the same time.
Yeah, it's the one who committed to not put their arm out to stop their
The person who cared about their face the least.
Yes.
And yeah, being a battle for the loser getting Makekoshi on that match just made them so much more into it. That was a really cool one.
And as we said, this is kind of a weak field. I don't think we really feel strongly about this. So if anybody else has a candidate for match of the Basho that they want to send us on like Twitter or Instagram, we'll be more than happy to change our minds down the line on this one. Like I said, there wasn't really anything that stood out. I think there was a lot of matches down in Juryo that I saw would have taken the cake for this one. So let's go.
We got one more award, and that is the award for people who picked the worst guy to win because he's going to take the power straight to his head and make you all eat habanero spears.
Oh.
And that award goes to all of you guys.
And Jake.
I mean, I'm going to do it too.
You're
but
eating it too.
I prepared myself. I worked on my tolerance yesterday while I was chopping this.
I'm going to let you dictate how much wasabi.
Yes, and as Mac will die if he even looks at the habaneros too
thought my
hard.
doctor
Just
said
smelling
this is
them
done.
is painful.
Mac is going to put a little bit of wasabi on his finger. That's probably good.
Stop.
Mac.
No. What are you doing?
Okay. So Mac is going to die very shortly as he has
A big nasty caterpillar of wasabi on his
an inch of wasabi on his finger. I'm actually going to be stupid. I'm going to put a little bit of wasabi on my habanero
Why don't you
pepper.
just dunk it in
Don't
this
out stupid
Death
me. What
Dipper
is this?
sauce?
I'm not going to put that much wasabi on it. Like that is a
and
reasonable amount.
For our fans' reference, I have long fingers.
That's an inch of wasabi. So say goodbye to Mac for the rest of the podcast. And 3, 2, 1, down the hatch. Cheers.
I am not touching you with my fingers.
Chew it.
Oh.
Chew it. Oh. That's not very good. That's not very good at all.
Oh God! Why? It's hitting.
There it is.
Give me that milk.
Oh,
wait,
Lord.
this is wasabi. It doesn't do anything.
Okay, so
Now you know my pain.
word to the wise.
No, it wasn't so bad. I'm doing another one.
Habaneros on their own, not that great. But habanero mixed with wasabi, oh buddy.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Because I had one of these habaneros like before we recorded just to see how bad it would be for Fleric, and
It's not good.
It's not good, but I was able to take it like a champ. But you mix in the wasabi with that, Fleric is, I mean not Fleric, but Mac is currently dying.
I have never seen you that shade.
I am okay.
You are the same color as those pink headphones.
That hurt.
I
all
like
right.
pink.
Hey Jake, what was your favorite moment of the Basho?
My favorite moment. What talking makes it much worse.
It does.
Yes. And now you're as ruined as I am.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to try and do this without breathing because that makes everything worse. My favorite match or favorite moment of the Basho was Enho. Oh, God. My favorite moment of the Basho was Enho surprising me on the very last day with a very solid, straightforward arm throw on Daisho. It wasn't even like some screwy scramble that was a total luck thing. It was actually solid, straightforward sumo, which was kind of surprising, but definitely liked it. And I'm glad it also got him his Kachikoshi.
All right, Fleric, favorite moment of the Basho.
Yeah, I guess I can talk about that. I don't think my tongue feels anything right now, so I'm doing pretty okay. It's definitely with Sasi Hakuho when he definitely on the last match with Takakeisho of asserting his dominance, saying like I'm the Hakuho. I'm totally gonna miss this guy.
Big
when he
Hawk
eventually
energy.
retires. Indeed.
I can feel it going down my throat. It burns. My favorite moment was Hot Garbage Shodai doing a beautiful Uchari to win.
That was good. I can't believe we
Okay.
forgot to bring that up. That Uchari was beautiful.
Because it's Hot Shodai's
Not
hot
necessarily
garbage.
match of the Basho kind of a thing, but as moment of the Basho, sure.
Because we've seen all of 2 Uchari in the 3 years we've been watching.
Probably a Kimarite of the Year candidate on our upcoming
Definitely.
GSB award episode. My favorite moment of the Basho was the moment before I took a bite of the habanero pepper and wasabi mix. But second to that is
you were so young and naive then.
Second to that would be the Asanoyama continued rise of him. I think he is going to be a guy that we're going to see in the Sanyaku ranks for a very long time. Hopefully, Ozeki by the end of 2020. Would love to see that. So seeing the continued rise of another young up-and-comer is nice to see. And so we're going to wrap up this Basho as we are all currently dying. And so look forward to our preview episode for the Hatsu Basho, which begins on January 12th. Later this week or next week, Jake and I are going to do the Bansuke prediction for Hatsu, and we'll do the Bansuke review after that comes out prior to the Hatsu Basho.
Also in December, look for our year-end awards show, our third annual, the most prestigious sumo awards show in all of podcasting in Iowa.
Right, you are.
And probably another episode of Dohyos and Deshis. We've been getting some response to that, which validates our ego enough to keep doing it.
Yes. So if you enjoyed this podcast and listening to us get tortured, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Then my thing.
Yep, and Mac's thing.
What?
Yeah.
The phone number, Mac, what is it?
805-613-7866.
That's 805-613-SUMO. We'll see you next time.
Ryan, you seem fine. What's wrong with you?
I'm better now. Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Until next time.
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.